Oh man, it's not a Cards-Seahawks game, Kyle, without a little anxiety. A wild one here on Sunday Night Football, but Cardinals finally get the win here at home against the Seahawks, 37-34 in overtime. Kyle, it must be Halloween because it felt like we were a black cat. We had many, many lives in this one. Thank God for that. Cardinals get the big win. We have so much to break down in this game, but what stood out to you most in this one?
I think just incredible resilience. The Cardinals were behind from the very start. The deficit was 10 points a lot of the time, and the fact that they kept on coming late in the fourth quarter, the offense kept rolling, the defense had some huge stops, and it certainly feels like this was a statement game for the Cardinals to come back and win this game against one of the best teams in the NFL.
It certainly was. I mean, low-key emotional after this. We just had Kyler Murray's parents right here, almost in tears, watching the way that this team came back, their son came back to win this game. Just tons of resilience. But let's get into the highlights, the way that they did get the win here, again, 37-34. And it was the first quarter. Seattle Seahawks wasted no time on the opening drive with this 35-yard completion to Lockett. Oh, beautiful connection all day for those two. And that sets up a few plays later, Lockett with a wide-open 3-yard touchdown to make it 7-0.
They were rolling all game, but the Cardinals did a really nice job of bouncing back early. The big play, Kyler Murray throwing it in single coverage to DeAndre Hopkins for the touchdown. Kyler Murray didn't even have his fingers on the laces on that throw. Still a dime. Good job by the Cardinals to get within 10-7.
Yeah, second quarter now. You don't see this too often. Hopkins with the catch, and he fumbles the ball. He coughs it up. Unfortunate, turns the ball over. But then Budda Baker gets it right back with this pick, and can he go all the way? You certainly think he's going to get...
Watch out, Budda! Watch out!
Nope. I cannot believe that. That's speed right there.
And he runs that fast.
I cannot believe that. That is superhero speed right there. But Cardinals get the momentum. Budda Baker with the second pick back-to-back.
And you think the Cardinals are in a good spot there, but they can't get it on the first 3 downs. They're going forward on 4th and goal. Kyler Murray's running around trying to create something, but throws incomplete. Really nice hold for the Seahawks. And then Kyler Murray gets it going a little bit to Dan Arnold. Big gain near the end of the first half to get the Cardinals back on track.
Yes, it's 1st and goal. And Christian Kirk here. Oop, okay, we have a field goal. This one making it 27-14. Here we go. Christian Kirk with the touchdown right in the end zone. Now that makes it 27-14, getting closer to that Seahawks.
Yeah, that was a nice play by the Cardinals. Nice play design. And Tyler Lockett was incredible in this game. Pretty good coverage by Patrick Peterson there. Lockett comes down with a huge touchdown. And Seattle in the first half was just rolling. At that point, it was 27-14.
And Gonzalez gets some points before the half, luckily.
That was important if you look at the end of the game. Getting any of those points were big.
Third quarter, 2nd and 10. Chase Edmonds on the Jets sweep. Kyler Murray actually in here, getting into the end zone. Oh, he was feeling it. Boom, with the touchdown, making it 27-24. Oh, here's the jet sweep. Here we go. You guys, this is a long game. Lots of plays to go over in this one.
What an incredible game from Chase Edmonds.
We got to see it again. It was that good. We got to see it again.
So
Kyler
nice.
Murray.
Let's see it twice.
Taking over the game. You could really feel at that point he was getting set here.
Yeah, and then the Seahawks kept on rolling. Oh, Russell Wilson, though, actually overthrows DK Metcalf and Patrick Peterson with the nice interception there.
The thing about this game, at this point, they weren't getting any points over these turnovers.
Yeah, and at this point, you're only down 3, and the Cardinals are in pretty good shape, but Kyler Murray throws the interception, and then 4th down, Russell Wilson throws it to Tyler Lockett. At first, that was called incomplete, and then you saw it on replay, and an incredible catch by Tyler Lockett to cap his day, and at that point, the Cardinals are down 10 points late in the 4th quarter.
And here's Kirk with his 2nd touchdown for the day, making it 34-31.
Then a huge stop by Tanner Vallejo right here. The Cardinals needed it. If they don't stop, they lose the game. And then Zane Gonzalez ties it to force overtime. Incredible 4th quarter comeback by the Cardinals.
Woo. Then we get into overtime. Huge sack by Murphy here. Stepping up big. A couple of pressures on Wilson.
Yeah, Cardinals had their chance to win it, and they didn't get it, and you thought the Seahawks might go down and score, but Isaiah Simmons.
It's the Rook.
Little used, but he got his chance and made the most of it.
Here we go. 41-yard attempt field goal. and it's good. And that's after, of course, he missed the first one. Again, life after life for this Cardinals team, showing the resilience here in this big win on Sunday Night Football, 37-34. Now let's bring in the guys who had the wild call here tonight. Dave Pash, Ron Wolfley. Now, Pash, this one first to you. You called this game a culture-building opportunity for this team. What did the nation learn about the Arizona Cardinals here tonight?
Yeah, I think you crossed the line now. It's on. It's on. But, it was about this year being a transition year, going from 5 wins, trying to find your identity in year 2 of the Kyler Cliff era. But you proved tonight you belong. This game was about proving you could play, that your quarterback could go toe-to-toe with a guy playing better than anybody in pro football right now, and an opportunity to build your culture. What are you going to be about? Well, I think the Cardinals showed that tonight, and now because of this win, you're within a half game of first place. So the rest of the year, every game is going to be about trying to look at the big picture, not for beyond 2020, but for 2020 and being a playoff team. It's no longer about just improving. It's about what can you get done this year in the postseason, in my opinion.
Wolf, the Cardinals defense looked completely different from the first half to the second in overtime. What adjustments do you think they made to really keep Russell Wilson bottled up after so much trouble in the first half?
Yeah, absolutely. A great observation by you, Kyle, because they were really vanilla for the most part in that first half in terms of rushing for. A lot of times without a spy on Russell Wilson. They really didn't show him a lot of complex pressure packages in that first half, and then they came back in the second half, and I think Vance Joseph just said, hey, listen, we gave up 27 points, over 300 yards of offense against the Seattle Seahawks in that first half. What do you say we just go ahead and start rolling the dice here in the second half? That's exactly what they did. The biggest adjustment by far and away from one half to the second half was the Arizona Cardinals defense and what they gave Russell Wilson on third and obvious pressure package looks. Unbelievable job by Vance Joseph.
I would like both of your takes on this one, guys. Yes, it did come down to a field goal, but to you, what was the deciding factor in this game? And there were lots of turning points, of course, to go over.
I think Kyler Murray outplayed Russell Wilson, ultimately. Wilson threw his third pick in a place on the field where you absolutely can't make that mistake. As great as Russell is and was during this game, you just can't make that play. Kyler Murray had that turnover in the game that was, again, right after Wilson had thrown a pick. But other than that, he had some misfires. But ultimately, to throw for 360, to throw 3 touchdown passes, to run for another score, to bring his team back from 10 down, I think it showed a lot of leadership. I think guys are looking to Kyler for leadership. This team is his team. He's the best player on the team. We know that. And again, I think he proved tonight he belongs and the Cardinals belong in the conversation of the 2020 postseason.
Guys, I got to jump in here and talk about the sequence that happened in the first half. David, you and I were talking about this very thing right here, where Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks were getting ready to score a touchdown. Budda Baker with the huge pick, and now all of a sudden the Cardinals are getting ready to score a touchdown. So what you're looking at basically is a 14-point swing, and on fourth down, they're stopped. They don't get it. And what does Seattle do? They take the ball and go 97 yards for a touchdown. I'm telling you right now, that would have broken a lot of teams. Kyle, you used the word resilience. I heard you talking about the Cardinals, and you are right on the money. The biggest thing they showed, circumference and resilience.
No doubt. And Dave, I mean, you look at the Kenyon Drake injury. We don't know how serious it is. It didn't look great. He was pretty emotional. What kind of luxury is it to have a Chase Edmonds on this team where you want Kenyon Drake healthy, obviously, but if he is banged up, what does it mean for the Cardinals to have Chase Edmonds able to step in?
Yeah, first of all, Kyle, you hate it for Kenyon Drake. All that is at stake for Kenyon Drake in this year. But Chase Edmonds, to me, I always felt was the future of the franchise at that position because he's so good in the passing game. Last year, he was hurt, and I think people kind of forgot about him coming into this year among the great weapons the Cardinals have. I think they're fine at that position. I really do. It's a tough loss with Kenyon Drake, but Chase Edmonds is more than capable. I'm just amazed they continue to lose guys on defense. I mean, look who was in there at the end of the game on defense, yet they're still making plays. And look, Hassan Reddick, for all the times we were critical of him, for not figuring things out, for being slow to react, for not having a great feel, he looks like a first-round pick right now. I mean, maybe this is new life for Hassan Reddick as an Arizona Cardinal.
Talking about another first-round pick, Wolf. The rook came through. Isaiah Simmons, how much of a confidence booster is this for him?
Oh, my goodness, I can't even imagine right now. There are plays that you'll make as a rookie where you lay awake in bed by yourself, 2:30 in the morning, look at the shadows creeping across the ceiling and say, I can do this. And I'll guarantee you, Isaiah Simmons, I'm sure he hasn't been lacking confidence. But, look, it's not like he's got a ton of experience. And to make that play in that situation when it mattered the most, well, that's going to pay huge dividends for that kid down the road.
You talk about just him, but from a team perspective, Dave, having a win like this, does it tell the whole Cardinals team that we can play with the big boys and we're not going to blink when times get tough against really talented opponents?
Yeah, and I think, excuses that a lot of teams would have of, hey, we're young, or we have an injury here, or, we just didn't play a great game today, that goes by the wayside. Look, Detroit is better than, and I always thought because of their injuries they were better than what we saw the first couple games. So you look at that game and it's understandable losing that game. The Carolina one, a little bit more head-scratching, but look what they've done the last 3 games. They pounded a bad Jets team. They pounded a bad Cowboys team. And that, first of all, that shows you're a good team when you beat a bad team the way they did. But I think tonight, again, you crossed a threshold. You proved to not just yourselves, the entire NFL, that you're for real. That's why I said it's on. It's on now. It's about more than just growing as a franchise. It's about going out and trying to win the NFC West.
All right, guys, thanks for your time. I think we're all going to need the bye week after this one. How about we take a listen to Dave Pasch's game-winning call after this?
Seattle has a timeout. Pete Carroll might use it. He's walking down the sideline, standing next to the official. 48-yard attempt for Zane Gonzalez, looking to win the game and get some redemption here in overtime. 20 seconds to go. Snap. Ball is down. Kick from Gonzalez is up. It looks good. It is good. The Cardinals win it.
Thanks, guys. Have a great bye week. Incredible call as always, Pasch.
Nice call, Dave.
Take care.
Whew. All right, after this one, Kyle, I still can't catch my breath after this. I mean, seeing the way that this team fought back, it wasn't pretty. There were tons of mistakes early on, yet still they were able to find a way to hand the Seahawks their first loss of the season. Let's head to head coach Cliff Kingsbury with his thoughts on today's win.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, pretty much a complete debacle. But luckily those guys bailed us out. I got conservative and, went for the field goal, and then we did not execute our center-left play, get our quarterback blown up, and then we, are about to get a delay a game and have to take a timeout, kind of freeze our own kicker. So it was about as bad of a coaching job as possible by me, but our guys kept fighting, kept believing, and found a way to get it done. So.
Hey, Cliff, kind of in the same vein, the 4th and 3 call, any regrets, especially at that point, and obviously with everything, how everything went forward, leaving those points on the field?
Not at all. That's the leading scoring team in the NFL with, arguably the MVP of the season so far. So you're not going to beat that team with field goals. And we liked the play call, just didn't get it done. And so I would do it 10 out of 10 times.
Next 3 will go Craig, Kevin, Sierra.
Do we have any positive questions?
Yeah.
Negative ones out of the way.
I got one for you, Coach.
Nice.
What does an overtime win like this do for you guys heading into the bye week?
I mean, I'm just excited that these guys can celebrate. They worked really hard, had that 2-game losing streak, and they've really, really focused at practice and in the meetings and taking it upon themselves when they do have extra time to put in the work, and it's paid off over these last 3 weeks. So for them to heal up after a victory like that and build some confidence, just going to be exciting moving forward to see if we can build off of it.
Hey Cliff, just wondering what you saw out of Kyler's game, and was that a growing point for him as far as just his career?
I thought he was phenomenal. You know, super competitive. He had that look in his eyes the whole game. I mean, he told me, he said, don't ever be conservative again. I got you. And he went out there and won it at the end. So he's fun to coach. He's competitive. He wants to be great. And, you know, anytime you're going toe-to-toe with a guy like Russell Wilson, I know that meant a lot to him.
Hi, Cliff. 2 big wins on national television in less than a week. How big of a statement is this for the team?
You know, we have a veteran group that understands, you know, how much season is out in front of us. They enjoy playing in these games, I could tell. I mean, the energy in the locker room's been great, on the sideline's been great. So, you know, we want to try to play ourselves into more of them. But I thought they handled themselves well, letting it build throughout the day and then kind of loose at night.
Next up, Greg, Catherine, Darren, please.
Coach, congratulations. Greg Moore, Arizona Republic. What does this feel like to get this win over that team, right? Like, so because Pete and Russell have a little bit on you and Kyler in terms of experience. So what does this feel like to get this over them?
Yeah, they have a lot on us, I would say. But it's a division win, and that's how we're viewing it. To come home and hold court here at home was big. That team was undefeated and playing really at a high level, and sort of takes the 2-0 in our division at the bye week where we can rest and heal up was, you know, it's a good point for us moving forward.
So Kyler Murray calling Kingsbury conservative there. Interesting.
Yeah, Cliff's known for his aggressiveness, but he was right. Cliff Kingsbury laid up a little bit and took a 41-yard field goal when the offense was moving the ball well. I think that's a big deal for moving forward. You have a young quarterback, but clearly he believes in himself and what he can do. Kyler Murray, like he said, was unbelievable tonight, and if the Cardinals can keep pushing the envelope offensively, it feels like the ceiling is just really high for this group.
Yeah, great for him to take ownership. He wants the ball in his hands, and it was so awesome just to see him go head-to-head against Russell Wilson, who's playing at an unbelievable MVP caliber level. Both excellent in this game. However, the interceptions, the deciding factor in this one.
Yeah, Russell Wilson was obviously better early, but you look at the overall numbers, and Kyler Murray outplayed Russell Wilson. It was fantastic showing, and Russell Wilson still might win MVP this season, and Kyler Murray went toe-to-toe with him and outplayed him. So I can't say enough about the job that Kyler Murray did. I can't believe he's a second-year quarterback doing all this stuff already.
Hold up, did I not call that in the pregame show?
You did.
Nose. All right, let's name our SRP Power Performer of the game. Easy to say here, Kyler Murray.
Kyler, I mean, the throws were great to me. He did a great job of sitting in the pocket. The pressure wasn't getting to him. He just seemed so comfortable, and it was a lot of DeAndre Hopkins early on, but whether Seattle changed their defense or did something differently, he really distributed the ball well after that to Larry Fitzgerald. Christian Kirk had 2 touchdown receptions. Just a really, really nice job of Kyler Murray throwing the ball tonight.
In fact, let's hear from our SRP Power Performer, Kyler Murray, at the presser.
These are the games you honestly, dream about. Growing up, watching Sunday Night Football, last week playing on Monday, these are the games that you want to be a part of. And to be a part of these games, you got to win, you got to keep winning. And so, I'm super proud of the team, the way we fought, not giving up, no matter the circumstances, just keep battling, and that's what we did. So I think that's huge for us to take that next step.
We'll do the next set with Bob, Craig, and Greg.
There we go. Hey, Kyler. Last year, you guys were really testy about what you did during the off week and played pretty crappy that week when you came back. What can you guys do different to not let that happen and kill this mojo?
And, I'm a year more mature. I've been this is year 2 for me, so understanding what happened last year, what I did last year. For me, there is no bye week. Last year, we kind of treated it as if it was a bye week. This year, head stays down. And for me, like I said, there's no bye week for me. So I'm going to keep at it and, be ready to come back and lead these guys.
Okay, we'll go to the next
Kyler,
with Craig Fouie.
There we go. Kyler, 3 75-yard drives by the offense, 93-yard drive. You win in overtime over Seattle and Russ Wilson. What does this mean for you and the offense? And then more importantly, what's it mean to your team heading into the bye week?
I think it's huge, for us to do that. Sunday Night Football against one of the best teams in the league, somebody that's in our division is huge. But at the same time, we understand what we have in our locker room. We understand the type of guys, type of playmakers we have. Now, like I said, to make that next step, and for us, wanting to be the best, you got to beat the best, and that's just the nature of this game. In any sport, you got to beat the best. So, I think it was a big step for us.
Greg Moore, Arizona Republic. Kyler, congratulations on the win. It's got to be the biggest win of your pro career. You were barking at somebody on the sideline. What can you tell me about that encounter, and is that something that's natural for you, or is that an evolution in your leadership? What was going on there?
No, if you know me, when things need to be done, they need to be done, and that's just, that's as far as evolution of leadership. No, that could have happened last year, it could have happened 2 years ago. It doesn't really matter. But for me, I just want to be great, and my guys on the sideline understand that, and the locker room they understand that. So there was no hard feelings. At the end of the day, we want to win the game, and luckily we were able to do that.
Next up, Sierra Tressa Catherine.
What was that atmosphere like in the locker room just now?
Man, it's you can't beat a good hard fought win like that. That's it's the best type of win you can that can happen is go back and forth in overtime. I don't think I've ever been a part of something like that. Miss a field goal, interception. That was a crazy game, and glad we came out on top.
Hey, Kyler, congratulations. Yes, Kyler, welcome to Cardiac Cards. That's
just a regular Seahawks Cardinals game every single season.
I can't tell you how many times I was like, but of course this is happening. But of course yet another field goal attempt here.
Welcome to the rivalry.
Kind of deja vu, but yeah, hard-fought battle. I mean, it's going to be tough. Glad that there's a bye week because some of these guys that are missing key players on defense, of course, Kenyon Drake. In fact, let's get into the ground stats by Toro here. A total of 159 yards. Murray was 67, but the X factor after Drake went down, Chase Edmonds steps up, and like you said in your conversation with Dave Pasch and Ron Wolfley, it's just nice to be able to have a guy like Chase, obviously, and be able to take over after that.
Yeah, and that running game for the Cardinals really struggled early on. I thought Chase gave it a great boost. Maybe Seattle got tired on their defensive front late because they ran the ball really nice late. On the flip side, the Seahawks were dominating on the ground for the entire game, but when they needed 2 yards on 3rd and 2 to seal the game, Tanner Vallejo had that fantastic stuff in the tackle to force the punt, which got the Cardinals into overtime. So not a very good run defense game overall, but when they needed the one tackle, they got it.
And when you can always count on Chase Edmonds, he makes those cuts, makes those runs, catch and runs look easy. Here he is at the podium to talk about this big win.
The weirdest moment to me probably was just the moment. I mean, credit to them, man. I hate to sound like I'm doubting them, but the moment our defense stopped Russell Wilson for the second time, I've been a fan of football my whole life. So, I'm watching these games as a little kid, and when you have I think he's the best player in the world right now. And when you have a player like that with 2 opportunities in overtime to score, it's a hell of a job by our defense. And I was just in disbelief when Isaiah got that pick. It's just I couldn't believe it. But obviously the job wasn't done yet. We still had to go down and drive, and Zane did a hell of a job by making the kick.
Hey, Chase, I just asked Buddha this, but what does a win like this do for you guys going into the bye week now? How exciting is that?
Huge. I remember talking to Hop, CK, Larry before the game. I said, we're going to find out what type of team we are today. And I mean that by obviously we have some decent wins on the board and everything like that, but Seattle's going to be playing in January. Everybody knows they're going to be in the playoff hunt, playoff race. And this is those type of games where you really find out how real are we? You know, what are we made of? It was a lot of adversity, kept taking punches, and we responded so well. So it does a lot for our confidence, but I think it truly sets the standard this time to where we can no longer play down on our competition. We got to win the games we're supposed to win and really be in those dogfight games, you know, for the long road.
Hey Chase, what did it mean to you to make those plays in overtime when you guys needed them the most?
Just I mean, just a testimony to my hard work. Man, I busted my ass this offseason. Truly, you know, from the start of before even COVID was beginning, I just kept working every single day. Me, Kirk, Trent, just working behind closed doors. You work like that for opportunities like this, and obviously I don't want the opportunity to happen where, you know, KD goes down and we don't know much about what's happening, but just to get that opportunity and seize it is just a testimony that hard work pays off, and you never know when your time is going to come.
Okay, next three.
Edmonds with 87 yards receptions in today's game. So not only can he bring in the run game, but obviously in the pass game as well. D-Hop finished 10 receptions, 103 yards, and a touchdown. And then it took a while for Larry to get going. I remember tweeting out, hey, Larry doesn't have the catch yet, but he in fact does get his catch. 654 career catches at State Farm Stadium. That's a record for a player in one stadium. And anytime he catches the ball, you could just feel it. We had about 1,200 fans here in the stands. And, yeah, you know when Larry catches the ball.
Yeah, you feel the energy with that few people. But I thought that Larry Fitzgerald had some really nice overall plays, especially in the second half. He really had some key catches. His hands are still great. And now he has 1,407 career receptions. There's a lot of guys in the NFL that don't get that type of receiving yardage in their whole career, and you're looking at Larry doing it with total catches. So just a really big game for the Cardinals. A key moment was his first one to get to 1,400, but he kept on going, and him and Kyler Murray had a nice little relationship going in the second half, and Larry Fitzgerald had a lot of big catches late in the fourth quarter and overtime.
And, of course, you saw that heads-up play once again, trying to get things lined up for the kick, and it's Larry legend.
Yeah, he's done that a couple times this year, and who knows where the Cardinals are in close games if he's not making those heads-up plays. He keeps on doing it.
All right, let's take a look here around the league. We were, in fact, the final game on Sunday. Again, the Rams play tomorrow night against the Bears, but here's a final look at the scores around the league. Again, 49ers get the win, 33-6 over the Pats.
And that's why the Cardinals' victory was so big, because the 49ers won, they're 4-3. If the Rams win, they have another victory. They get to 5 wins. If the Cardinals had any chance of really hanging in the NFC West race, I felt like they had to win tonight, and it obviously did not look good for most of it. I think the stat was that they were trailing for 57 minutes tonight and still won the game. But just a really good job by them, and now they're right in that mix. Look at them. They're in second place. They're certainly in the playoff hunt, and if they keep playing like this, they're going to be in the hunt for the division title.
And they handed the Seahawks, most importantly, their first loss of the season. Again, they're playing exceptionally well, but just to be able to have that, hey, good things to come, hopefully.
I mean, I just think it's just such a statement victory to do that against the Seahawks, and not to win the game in any weird ways. It was a weird game, but the Cardinals were moving the ball offensively. They intercepted Russell Wilson 3 times. It wasn't like it was a block punt or something. Like, they played really well on offense, and then the defense figured it out. So we'll figure out with the injuries how they're looking on both sides of the ball, but I think clearly this team has enough talent to really compete.
How important was it just to get this win here, going into a long bye week, be able to recover and get some of these players just recover from some of the injuries? Obviously, this is such a physical game that you face. If you want to go into a bye week, it's after a Seattle Seahawks game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'm sure they're going to be, especially the defensive linemen. They lost a couple, Zach Allen and Jordan Phillips, and you saw Corey Peters going in and out, and Lecky Fotu, but they did a really nice job, you know, hanging in there and staying stout at the line of scrimmage and not being too tired. So I'm sure they're all going to appreciate the days off and really refresh and get ready for the stretch run.
Well, some of the players obviously excited about this win. They head right to Twitter. DJ Foster, I'm sweating, so are we. I need one of those oxygen tanks in my house. Let's go, D. It was pretty hard to watch this game in a mask. I'm going to tell you that. I had to pull it down a little bit. Congrats to Larry Legend. Chandler Jones, miss you always. Can't wait to get you back on this field next season as this team. I mean, you look at the way that they've turned the corner here. It's almost smack dab in the middle of this schedule. So after the bye, the Dolphins, and then we'll see how they finish off this season. But I think this is a huge confidence booster for them.
Yeah, the schedule is definitely not getting any easier, and the Cardinals are going to continue to have to prove themselves, but we've seen what they can do now, and I think they're going to be excited about what lies ahead.
All right, before we wrap things up, let's go back to the podium and hear from P2 after he had a pick here tonight.
It was a great team win today. You know, to come from behind and facing adversity throughout the whole throughout that whole game, and just still continue to stick with it. It just goes to show we're battle tested. You know, it was a couple games last year that we've been in that same situation and we just couldn't, you know, execute those scenarios that we had. But this year, that was one of our point of emphasis, making sure that we're a very good situational football team to where we're stopping teams when we need to and getting points when we need to. And that was a great outing by the offense, moving the ball flawlessly down the field to force the game in overtime. And you know, we should have won the game with the first kick, but Zane, you know, ice in his vein, came back and hit that kick the second time around to give us that victory. So it was a great team win. It's great for the young guys on this football team to know what it takes to continue to dig down deep while you're in games, because you're never out of it. You know, and today it gave us that confidence and that willpower to know that we can do anything possible once we put our mind to it.
Hey, Patrick, congratulations on the win. I like your shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
I want to ask you a couple questions about the other turnovers. What did you see from Budda Baker in that 90-yard sprint down the field? And then how big of a moment was it for Isaiah Simmons to come up clutch in overtime?
That was huge for us. Both of those interceptions were able to take points off the board. Those guys were I believe, within the 10-yard line with the Budda interception. Isaiah obviously icing the game, you know, with that third down call. Coach Vance was very aggressive, and Isaiah went through his keys, didn't play all night. You know, that just goes to show, give him credit that a guy that is committed to doing his job to the best of his ability. And, you know, he came in and made a huge, huge play for us. And I tell you, you can ask him this before the game. I told him, this might be the game where you break that seal, and I'd be doggone. He made a huge play for this defense and for this team to help us get the dub.
When he's talking about Budda Baker's interception, at least he didn't pull a Daniel Jones there, you know, a little trip over his own shoelaces. I mean, DK Metcalf chasing after you.
Yeah, I mean, DK Metcalf is just a freak, obviously, such an athletic, fast guy, and Budda almost got there. Still a nice interception and didn't allow Seattle to get 7 points on the other side. I'm sure his teammates will get on him for not scoring, but
he's going to want that one back for sure.
And I just think the Isaiah Simmons play could be really important for him the rest of the season. For the coaching staff to trust him in big spots. Maybe he'll get more playing time after doing something like that, but he just looks so natural on that play, turning around, getting the interception easily. He could be a real asset for this team moving forward.
Absolutely. Great confidence boost for him. That wraps up things here on our post-game show. Join us tomorrow morning for a cup of coffee, and we're going to dissect this one because it's a delicious one. It's a delicious win for sure. Thanks for joining us. Again, the Cardinals get the win 37-34 off of a game-winning field goal by Zane Gonzalez. We will see you after the bye week. Have a great night, everyone.